Hello, everyone. Welcome back to our Excel Essentials series. In today's lesson, we'll be diving into the index and match functions. These are more flexible and powerful alternatives to the classic VLOOKUP. By the end of this video, you'll understand how to use index and match to perform dynamic lookups that offer more control and efficiency, especially in large data sets. What is index and match? The index function returns the value of a cell within a table or range based on a given row and column number. The syntax for index is equal to index, array, row num, and column num. The array refers to the range of data where you want to retrieve a value. The row num is the row number within the array from which to fetch a value. And the column num is optional for the 2D array, but for more, that if you have multiple columns, you need to specify which column's value to return. The match function searches for the value in a range and returns the relative position of that value within the range. The syntax for the match is equal to match, you open your bracket and you have lookup value, lookup array, and match type. The lookup value refers to the value that you want to search for example, P005. The lookup array refers to the range of cells to search within, for example, C2 to C16. And the match type is optional. One signifies the nearest value less than the lookup value. So you use that when you're dealing with an approximate match. 0 is for an exact match, and -1 refers to the nearest value greater than the lookup value, or you say for reverse lookup. How can we use the index and the match together? When combined, index and match allows us to perform a more flexible lookup than VLOOKUP or HLOOKUP, as we can search both horizontally and vertically. For example, let us say that we want to match Apple, okay, with the respective product ID. So using index and match, we say equal to index A2, the array is A2 to A10, and we want to match Apple in inverted commas, apples in B2 to B10, and we want an exact match. It has been able to match apples with product ID P001. Why do we use index and match together? When used together, these functions allow us to perform lookups with much more flexibility than VLOOKUP or HLOOKUP. Unlike VLOOKUP or HLOOKUP, which are limited to looking up values in the first row or column, index and match can search any part of your table and return values from any row or column. Index and match tend to be faster, especially with large data sets, because they do not require sorting the data like VLOOKUP does with approximate matches. VLOOKUP requires the lookup value to be in the leftmost column, but with index and match, you can look up data from any column. Index and match can be used on unsorted data, whereas VLOOKUP, when doing approximate matches especially, requires that the data must be sorted. So while index and match are two separate functions, they work together to perform advanced and flexible lookups. Let's take a look at a few more examples. We have our data here showing product ID, product names, and prices. Okay, we want to find the price of product ID P003. Let's call up both the index and match. So again, we say equal to index. The lookup value is in the price. We want to look up the price. So we highlight the price column, and we want to match P003, okay, which is under the product ID. And we want an exact match. Oh, sorry, I forgot the bracket to match. Okay, so the price of apples is 2,500 naira. Now, let us create a more dynamic setup. So let us say that we have this cell K1, where we want to type in any product ID, okay? Let's say we want to find for any product, we don't want to specify the product. So our go-to key or cell for entering the product of our choice will be K1. It means also that if we want to find for, let's say we don't want P009 anymore, we want P010, we just need to change our reference cell. So what we'll do is we look for any cell that we will use to enter the code, and instead of putting the number, like in the case of P001 or P003, we will put cell K1. So we'll say equal to index. Again, we're still looking for the prices. Okay. And then we match. We want to match this cell. Okay. We want to match that cell with the array products, and we want an exact match. All we need to do now is to go in and insert the product ID that we want. For example, P009, and it tells us it's 5,200, which tallies with the price here. So we can always keep this as a reference. So we can always keep this, as a reference to let us know that, okay, we can also. So we can keep this as a reference to let us know that it's tied to this cell, and we can always change this anytime. For example, we want again 005. Okay. This formula will update the price automatically based on what product ID we enter into cell K1. The common issues with the index and match function are the NA error, the array mismatch, or the exact mismatch. The NA error occurs if the match function does not find the lookup value. So always ensure that your lookup value is spelled correctly and is within the range. For the case of array mismatch, ensure that the index array and match array are the same size. That is, they must contain the same number of rows and columns. And in the case of exact match, ensure that you use 0 for an exact match in the match function to ensure precision in your lookups. That's a wrap on the basics of index and match. Today, we've seen how these functions allow us to perform dynamic, flexible lookups without the limitations of VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP. I recommend practicing these functions on your own data and exploring more ways to use them in your workflows. If you found this tutorial helpful, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Until next time, bye-bye.